Hi guys, thanks for tuning back in. First of all, I'd like to apologise that this video is a bit late, but there is a good reason for that. So I did actually start making a video about the prep work before the primer that involved a lot of rubbing down, a lot of prepping, degreasing, scrubbing, sanding and all the rest of it, but it was insanely boring. So I thought it'd be better if I just get on with it and do it, and then I can show you guys what I've been up to. So with the exterior of the resin primer, it was just a case of blocking it down using a guide coat. And then on top of the resin primer, there's areas like this here that had a dent. I've done the filler work, and then I've gone over the top with the anti-rust primer. And these strips that were previously welded in, there's a couple of pinholes where the plug welds were, so I've just fillered over those and rubbed those back and then put the primer over the top. And under the bonnet area needed a lot more work as well. It was just a case of sanding where I could, and then I'd use the wet scotch. Wet scotch is where I use a Scotch-Brite pad with a panel degreaser and just give it a good scrub the best I can. And it was pretty much the same story in this back area here. I've sanded back as much as I can, removing any old glue and sealant and the rest of it. And then I've just given the whole area a wet scotch. And it's the same in the footwell area here, sanded back, wet scotched. I did have to do a small repair here. If you remember, this frame here for the stereo is very buckled, so what I've done is just applied a tiny bit of fiberglass here and a bit of body filler just to straighten it out. I do realise that the stereo does cover this hole, but it is just to tidy it up underneath. And this rear area here also needed a lot of work, a lot of scrubbing back and sanding, but this is all looking pretty good now. And the only thing I had to do was do the filler work on the rear valance. So that's pretty much done as well. But what seemed to be the most time-consuming job on getting this prepped up is the bits that you don't actually see. And one of the areas is this here. This is underneath the boot floor, and this was very scuzzy. It had a lot of sealant and underseal on there that took hours to scrape off, but as well as that, I've had to wet scotch this whole area to make it look tidy, ready for the primer. And the same goes behind the rear valance. What I've done is I've scrubbed it back the best I can, and I've just put a light coat of the anti-rust primer over the top here. And yet again, underneath these heater channels, they were very scuzzy. They all needed to be prepped up, as well as the front area of the bulkhead. And the other side of the bulkhead panel, and these areas here, and even underneath this front valance, they're very difficult to get in there. They did take quite a long time to prep up and degrease and get them ready for the primer. And what I've also been doing is getting these wings kind of moved along a little bit. I did thoroughly key them up, degrease them, and then I've applied a coat of the resin inside and out on the wings, and now I'm going to get on with the repairs. But for today, I'm going to concentrate on getting this whole body into primer. That's inside, outside, upside down, the whole shooting match. I need to get this into primer, and today I'm blessed with a rather warm day, so this is a perfect opportunity to get this done. So although as I've been doing this work, I have been using a lot of panel wipe, degreaser, just to make sure everything's nice and clean. But before I put the primer on, I just need to go over it one more time and also use a tack rag. So when it comes to using panel wipe, one thing that's worth thinking about is that it's available in different speeds. I'm currently using a medium speed panel wipe, but you can also get a fast and a slow one. So if you find that your panel wipe is actually evaporating faster than you can apply it, then you will actually need a slower panel wipe. So I'm all degreased now, and I've gone over the whole thing with a tack rag. So now it's time to apply the primer. And I really have got a lot of priming to do. But here's the plan. What I'm going to do is start with the awkward areas first, which is underside the boot floor rear valance, underneath the heater channels, and underneath the front here. Then I'm going to do the interior, under the bonnet area, then it's the exterior of the body. And there you go, that's the body of the beetle fully in primer now. So the area underneath the bonnet and inside the car, and also the area underneath the boot floor. These have all had 2 coats of primer. And the exterior panels, the roof, the rear quarter panels, the front quarter panels, and the front and rear valances have had 3 coats of primer. So now that the whole complete body is in one colour, I can really see how this is going to look when it's finished. And as it goes with this little bug, when it left the factory, it was actually painted grey. So it's a pretty similar colour to what it is now. So the day is not quite over for me yet. I would like to carry on doing some work on these very beaten wings. I do need to block down this resin coat, do some repairs and get them ready for primer. So there you go, I'm going to carry on prepping the wings. I've also got to finish off the bonnet and the deck lid, so I've got some stuff to do. So I'll carry on doing that and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching as always. Cheers!